Hi there. Happy Friday. Dr. Sabrina Starling here, the business psychologist at Tap the Potential. And I'm also the author of How to Hire the Best series, as well as the 4-Week Vacation. And today I wanted to come and talk with you about quiet quitting, what you need to know about it and how to prevent it. There's so much talk about it right now in major media, New York Times, Washington Post, and it's all over social media. And I think it's important to know what it is and to know that it's nothing new. And the ways to prevent it are pretty basic. And I'm going to walk you through that right now. So, what you need to know about quiet quitting is that your employees who are doing it are the ones who are burning out and they're consciously deciding that they're giving less of themselves at work. So, they're pulling back and they're not putting in the extra effort. And really, this is nothing new. It's just plain old employee disengagement, or what we used to call presenteeism. Your body is physically present, but your mind is checked out. And so you're not bringing your best to work every day. And the statistics show that in reality, disengaged employees are really only putting in about 40% of their time on tasks. They may show up at work 5 days a week, but you're really only getting 2 days of work out of them. There was a study a few years back by Dale Carnegie Training that places the number of fully engaged team members at around 29 or 30%. And that means about 70% or almost three quarters of our team members are not fully engaged. So that's the bad news. The good news is there's a lot that you can do to prevent team members from becoming disengaged. And I've been doing a series on the Profit by Design podcast about creating a coaching culture in your workplace. And I've been talking on the podcast a lot about what you can do to attract those A-player team members who will be engaged, the right people will be engaged, and how to get them on board and how to keep them engaged and just build a culture where people want to bring out their best and do their best at work and have healthy boundaries. So check out the recent episodes on the Profit by Design podcast. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to post a link to the latest one that I did. Called Preventing Quiet Quitting with a Results-Oriented Workplace. And that's where I go in depth with respect to what is a results-oriented workplace. And I think for business owners, it's really eye-opening to think about how you can simplify the question that you have in your head around your team members, and are they really fully present at work, even if they're not in the office, if they're working from home? How do you know you're getting productivity out of them and the best from them? So I go into that in that episode on the Profit by Design podcast. It's episode 207. So check that out. But what I want to share with you today is that the majority of your team members are likely experiencing burnout and stress because of what all of us have been through with the pandemic and the disruptions to our lives over the last 2 to 3 years. And so one of the best ways to reduce stress for team members is to give them freedom and flexibility in choosing how they deliver their work. But yet, as businesses are returning to business as normal and employees who have been able to work from home are now being asked to come back into the office, they're losing some of that freedom. And that's fueling this backlash of quiet quitting. So I think it's important to just really understand how prevalent burnout is. In my book, The 4-Week Vacation, I tackle this in depth with respect to how burned out business owners are. And it's also important that we look at, well, what about our team members? So according to the American Psychological Association's Work and Wellbeing Study of over 1,500 adults in the United States, then this was done in 2021, 79% of employees had experienced work-related stress in the month before the survey. Nearly 3 in 5 employees reported negative impacts of the work-related stress, including lack of interest, motivation, or energy, and lack of effort at work. Meanwhile, 36% reported cognitive weariness, 32% reported emotional exhaustion, and 44% reported physical fatigue. And that's an increase over the statistics from 2019. It's a 38% increase. So this is really significant. And what we need to be aware of is that quiet quitting really is pushback against hustle culture. So, in hustle culture, we're expected to push hard to get ahead, sacrifice our health and our personal relationships and our well being, all for the sake of demonstrating commitment to the workplace. And this is not healthy. It is not sustainable. And our A players on our teams are our best team members, and they are the most susceptible to burning out and disengaging. And the reason this happens is because they're intrinsically motivated. They have this internal drive within to do a really good job, and they're always willing to go the extra mile. This makes them very prone to overwork, to overcommit, and you, the employer, may not be fully aware of how much they're working and how much mental load they're carrying home with them when they're not at work. And when they burn out, you risk losing them either through quiet quitting where they disengage, or they outright quit because they're finding an opportunity elsewhere that feels like it's less personally demanding on them and provides them a better opportunity. So the best way for you to retain the A players in your business, keep them engaged, and prevent quiet quitting is to create a work supports life culture in your company. And this means that we business owners and leaders need to role model setting healthy boundaries and expectations with our team members with respect to the hours we expect them to work, as well as what we expect of them in terms of availability and responsiveness after hours. So not only do we need to accept those expectations, but we have to role model them ourselves. And we need to have ongoing discussions about this with our team members, telling them it's okay to stop work at 5, turn off your phone in the evenings, take the weekends off, really give yourself that space to recharge, encouraging them to exercise and have a healthy lifestyle, and having the boundaries between work and life that support that. That it will go a long way to preventing your team members from burning out. And it does tremendous things for you too. So you have to role model this. And that's what I talk about a lot in the 4-week vacation. And the 4-week vacation is geared towards business owners. But what's fascinated me about this book is so many team members read it and they say, yes, we need this work supports life culture in our business. We need to be able to take time away from the business, fully unplugged, so that we can come back refreshed and recharged. So it's not just for business owners. This is something that affects all of us because hustle culture is so prevalent. And when we build our cultures around work supports life, what we're doing is we're saying we value our people. We value our team. We don't want you to burn out. We want you to come to work fully engaged and productive. And in the 4-week vacation, I cite all kinds of research that shows that we're actually more productive and more effective when we're working way fewer than 40 hours a week. So the longer we're working, the less effective we're becoming. We're making more mistakes. There's going to be more rework, and we're not making the best choices about how we allocate our time at work. So these are critical discussions for you to be having with your team members. And the other thing that I want to share with you as a resource is I'm teaching the Coach Approach course that's coming up. Registration ends September 2nd. But in the Coach Approach course, this is all around creating an environment of accountability, team members coming together to solve problems, taking responsibility off of any one team member to have all the answers. Oftentimes that one team member is the business owner themselves. And when you have a coaching culture, you have A players who do a lot of thinking and problem solving collaboratively. And this leads to better decisions being made in the business. This ties into burnout for team members and business owners because a significant part of burnout is the mental load that we're carrying away from work. And so when decision making is shared and there's much more collaborative decision making going on at work, there's a lot less mental load on all of the team members, and that goes a long way to preventing burnout. So if you want to learn more about the Coach Approach, head on over to tapthepotential.com/coach-approach. I'm going to put that in our comments here, so you have that link too. And remember, registration for that is ending on September 2nd. That is a great course for not just for business owners, but for team members to take too, because when you have multiple team members going through Coach Approach, it's easier to learn the new skills and the skill of powerful questioning and using powerful questioning to come up with much better solutions to issues that come up in the workplace. So I hope this has been helpful for you. Remember, another resource that I shared with you is to check out the latest episodes on the Profit by Design podcast around creating a coaching culture, building a results-oriented work environment, and supporting not just you, but your entire team with creating a work supports life culture. Have a great weekend.